got another camera in, so we're gonna take a look at it. This is gonna be a K1000, unless the customer put a little switcheroo on me. K1000. Yep, there it is. Oof. You can see, oh my goodness, you can actually see in there, kind of. But you can kind of tell that the edges of the focus screen, there's like a heavy vignetting. Yeah, you can see the viewfinder in there is not looking super great. The focus on my camera is doing wonders for me as well, but hopefully you get a gist of what we're doing. We have here the parts K1000, and it's disgusting, it's gross, but I think that this is all just kind of like dirt, residue and stuff that can likely be cleaned. So we're gonna start with taking the viewfinder out of this camera and then putting it into that camera. So to do that, obviously we have to take this camera apart. So we're gonna jump on that. Crusty under there. Yeah, this one looks like it's perfectly fine. Set screws in the side there, so just a little bit. A little dab will do ya. Get that cleaned out while we're there. Okay. Prism removed. And set that right there. Yeah, so you can see it in there now. Oh, it's on the underside, I think. God, that's weird. So what I'm thinking happened is like some oil or some fluid got in there and just kind of eroded the mechanism that eroded whatever material the focus screen is made up of. So it happens quite often, a lot of the times in like the AE1s, A1s, A1 programs, anything that you have to like put oil in very close to like get rid of the squealing issues. It's very common that there is some bleed through, so being wary of that. So when you're doing this, as I've said before, there's a few things you want to be very careful of. One is that you're not breaking any of the wires, and I mean you can like snap the wires, just have to make sure that you replace them, so that's not like cataclysmic, but just be wary that that is a reality that might happen. And then two is the meter needle. You want to make sure that you aren't bending that or roughing it around too much, because that can also be problematic. So this is the original camera. I'm going to take this one now, which is the parts camera, and essentially do the same swap. It's a matter of lifting this system up and then putting the other thing down into it, because as you can see with this focus screen, there's that big gap right there. Okay, so excuse the mess. What we have here is a new focus screen, and to install this, what I did is I used the OG viewfinder system tray sort of thing from the customer's camera, and all I did was simply remove this little basket here which holds the viewfinder, and I have the example of it here. So it's this and then like two little pressure plates, something like that, hold that all in place, and then it screws into the bottom like that. So boop, just kind of did one of those little swap-a-roo. So now we have a cleaner, better viewfinder system. Fantastic, right? Okay. So I put the parts viewfinder glass into place. So the focus screen sits right there, as you can tell, and then there's pretty much an empty space right here, and you put the glass right there, and then the light meter unit kind of sits over top of that and secures it in place. You put the prism there. That's pretty much it. Great, great. I actually have this right here, which is this Spotmatic, but it's all intact, as you can tell, and it's disgusting, quite frankly, but you can see how it all kind of works there. Great. And then that would sit on top of the mirror box like such. Fantastic. Okay, so now that you kind of have a better visualization of that, when I tell you that I put the parts viewfinder glass in there, got everything put back together, looked through it, and there's a very small chip. So took it all back apart and replaced it with the original viewfinder glass. So one of those things that took a little bit longer than I would have liked, but it's totally worth it. So we're going to put this all back together now. Got the K1000 top. There's the plunger for the shutter button and this black accent piece bumper. I didn't record the part where I was putting basically the fish hooks into place, but I did manage to skewer my thumb, so it's good to keep that tradition alive. What we're not going to do this time is we're not going to forget about this screw, as I always do every time I put these back together. Forget to put the screw in. Okay, that side is done. Now it's just this side, and we have the screw for that, like so. Cool. Before I get too far along, I just want to double, triple check. There's no battery. Okay, good to know, because I was going to say the needle is not moving. Wire is intact. So we are going to put a battery in, LR44 1.5 volt battery. Scrape the gunk off the bottom there. And this is going to be to test that the needle is in fact moving. It is responding to changes in light. Now, if you'll remember, when I took the top off, I had the shutter speed dial set to bulb, and it's not going to really work at bulb. So we'll put the dial back on top and then adjust it as needed, try it at all of the different speeds to make sure that the EV values read properly. Boom. All right, we have a working camera. Fantastic. Obviously there's a lot more testing that needs to go into it. It's not just me pointing it at a light for a little bit, but as far as preliminary tests go, the needle moves as it should. And pop that open. Beautiful. That's fantastic. All right, so that's basically it. That is the whole cannoli. And yeah, basically I'm just gonna run some tests on this, make sure that the shutter speeds are accurate, make sure that the EV values are correct, and I think I'm gonna call it a day. So I'm gonna end the video here. I'm also gonna clean up my desk, obviously, after this is done, which I'm very much looking forward to. So the next video that I record, which might not be the next video I post, but the next video I record, clean desk space. You won't have to look at my chaotic nightmare of a mess here. So until that time though, hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Comment down below any questions you may have, or shoot me an email. Either way works. And yeah, hope you learned something. Catch you on the next one.